Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be looking into details about your future spouse. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Aragonite, along with these cards. Group 2 is the black Tourmaline, along with these cards. And group 3 is the orange Calcite, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video if you would like to jump ahead, which I recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling through letter tiles, attribute papers to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Aragonite along with these cards, which I'll start with to get kind of a feel for who your future spouse is, some details about them. We've got Ace of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The High Priestess, again, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio energy. Got the Six of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Indecision. Soulmates. Protection. House. Imprisonment, and false person. So it looks like your future spouse comes into your life after a period of maybe a substantial disappointment that you had experienced in love with somebody else, a situation where there had been some infidelity, or somebody that you had invested a lot of your time and effort and love into as being the one for you turned out to not be that. You might have felt that you had wasted a lot of time. You may also have be at a point where you're kind of questioning your intuition, a little bit closed off and guarded with this imprisonment card to the idea of maybe opening your heart to love again. A lot of very understandable kind of barriers and boundaries that are in place. This could be somebody that has to kind of work for your attention and will work for your attention, will display a lot of consistency as far as proving that they are not like other people you've dealt with in the past. There could be some similarities as well between your future spouse and someone you had dealt with previously. Quite possibly they could have the same name as somebody you had dealt with previously that things didn't go so well with. And that can almost be a sense of that kind of being an initial turnoff or something which kind of triggers and sparks a lot of memories for you of, again, sort of that painful situation you had dealt with previously that is kind of an obstacle that is needing to be overcome. But this person feels like somebody that, again, is very very cognizant of that, of this sense of guardedness with this closed gate here on the house, and also this imprisonment card of some very understandable sort of boundaries and barriers that you have in place. Somebody who is willing to really put in the effort to show you consistently through sort of words of affirmation, but also following through on a lot of actions as well that kind of move you into that direction of opening up your heart to love again, opening your heart up to trusting this person, to seeing beyond sort of those external circumstances of, again, maybe some things that remind you of someone you had dealt with in the past, kind of fears that you might have of some repeating cycles. You might even be in a stage where you have kind of just put love on the back burner and this person comes in very unexpectedly and really helps you in that process through what is endeavored here, through the consistency that they show. This feels like somebody who is very adept at communicating their feelings as well, with the Ace of Cups and then this sword energy here. Somebody who is willing to open up about some difficulties and disappointments they've experienced in love, which helps provide you with perspective and helps you to really understand that this person is a safe space for you to open up. This might be something where the lines of friendship are what are established first and foremost in order to really acclimate to one another energetically, in order to really be able to kind of build that foundation of trust between one another before kind of opening up to this sort of layer of love between you. But again, this person will feel like a safe space to you. They will feel somebody that almost feels very familiar as well with the soulmates card. This could be a past life connection. This doesn't feel like somebody you've dealt with previously in this lifetime, although with indecision, this could be somebody from your past returning, who's wanting to give the relationship another chance, who has grown or matured in some kind of way. And while there may have been some deception that had happened before, and you might be kind of guarded to this person when they return, faced with that decision to open up and give them another chance or to move in another direction. This does feel like something that if you choose to give this person another chance, which since this is a future spouse reading, it seems that that decision is made, that this is kind of this gradual process of rebuilding trust, moving forward through dialogue and through emotional vulnerability from whatever difficulties you have faced before. But in terms of a past life soul connection with this individual, with your future spouse, this could also really trigger some past life memories of, maybe love and loss associated with this person in previous incarnations that at a soul level, you've both still been carrying around with you. And so when you interact with one another for the first time, when you really meet each other in this lifetime, it could really dredge up a lot of those, again, kind of soul memories that you've been carrying with you. And so there could almost be this period of being very drawn to one another, but then also with this indecision, kind of a back and forth energy of wanting to lean into this connection, but feeling very triggered by this person in a lot of ways that are hard to kind of put your finger on. And that all of this really being this process of healing that is necessary. At the deep kind of soul level, moving beyond some of these wounds that you have carried surrounding kind of the conditions or what has happened between you in previous incarnations, releasing that for good in this lifetime, so that as your soul's journey forward into incarnations to come, that this lifetime, the experience that you have with each other, this very loving bond, this very protective bond, what is built and what is nurtured between the both of you carries forth, that is the legacy you are establishing with one another, that then is kind of transferring off into other experiences you will have with one another in the future. With this high priestess, this person could be very intuitive. There could be a psychic connection with them. You could start dreaming about this person or even feeling them energetically prior to them coming into your existence. Again, with this kind of psychic energy and this energy of the past life soulmates, there's almost this sense of deja vu associated with this person. There's a sense of having known them before, feeling very comfortable in their presence. You two might meet through some kind of spiritual community affinity, or you might be on similar kind of spiritual paths. You could be very spiritually minded, or this person in some way, either you open them up to more of their spiritual self, or they help to introduce you to more of your spiritual side. They activate some gifts within you. They really help you to maybe also harness those gifts in a more direct manner through what you are intuiting and what you are kind of working through, these blocks and barriers within yourself. It helps you to kind of open up more to that psychic side of yourself, where then any kind of other sort of blocks and barriers in your life in general, as far as maybe getting in alignment with your soul's purpose, with what it is that you have constructed as a life for yourself, anything that you might feel very trapped or disappointed about in terms of what you do for a living, or again, the life you've kind of constructed for yourself, this person really helps to activate you in some way, to where that might be kind of reimagined or recalibrated or in some way expanded upon. It feels that this person is also very encouraging of any sort of psychic gifts that you have, an intuitive knowing that this person has of maybe some larger dreams that you've been kind of keeping at bay, or that you've been sort of disappointed about, things that hadn't really come into fruition or had kind of fallen apart in the past, and that either subtly or directly this person helps to nudge you in the direction of making a decision to focus on these things more, to cultivate these things more. This person feels very supportive in that sense, in you pursuing your dreams or interests or goals, or expanding again upon some kind of spiritual path, or just getting more into alignment with your higher purpose, with your calling in this lifetime in a different way, something you might be very unaccustomed to in terms of a partner. And this could also really set up some red flags, or not even red flags, but just some triggers for you as well. Almost that, why is this person being so supportive? Why are they being so accepting of me? Is there a catch? Is there something that they are trying to gain out of this? You might have dealt with a lot of people in your past that maybe tried to take advantage of you in one way or another. Took advantage of your intuitive knowing, took advantage of some of your gifts, or almost wanted to piggyback on some success that you were trying to cultivate for yourself, or that you had the ability to really produce for yourself. And so there's a sense that as supportive as this person is, it almost makes you question their motives at some point in time, kind of early on in the connection. But that this is something that, again, this person feels very consistent, somebody who's very patient, somebody who is also shares an empathic bond with you, to where beyond the words that are spoken, they can almost just sense and intuit based on your body language, in your energy, in the words that are spoken, or what is being held back, this sense of skepticism that you have, this sense of guardedness. And as the relationship kind of unfolds, this is something that, again, through this person really being very consistent, being very transparent with their motives and with their intentions, and just the energy that they give off, the vibes that they give off to you, it helps you to kind of loosen those guards and that barrier that you have around yourself. It helps you to really let this person in and to understand kind of the purity of their intentions. This is somebody different from whom you had dealt with previously. As you become more aware of their gifts, their abilities, their capacity, and kind of their pursuits in that area, this is something that you two might also collaborate on, something of a spiritual nature, something in terms of your higher purpose, your higher calling. And as you get to really understand this side of this person, it helps you to really, again, distinguish them as somebody with very pure motives. With the tree and the house, the tree and the protection card, and then the house in this card here, there could be some kind of connection to family. Maybe you meet this person through family. This could even be sort of a blending of families, a combining of families, you two, and that can involve pets that are children. This can involve children from previous connections that you are both kind of bringing together to create sort of this blended environment. This really also fits into the idea of this person will acclimate very well to your world, whether that is into your family unit. Your family will really approve of and accept this person, will really recognize that you two are kind of two peas in a pod. You're sort of a quirky match for one another. that in certain qualities and aspects of you, of these kind of subtle layers of you, that this person fits in very well with that. So this is a connection that will be, again, really encouraged and approved of by both of your families. Even if this is, friends that are like family, there could be a connection in that sense, somebody that you meet through a very close friends, or somebody that is in some way kind of involved in your community, or acclimates very well, or you are brought into kind of the fold of their sort of their friend circle or their social circle in a very intricate way, and in a way that really fits and feels good. With the tree also in this protection card, this again talks about maybe some kind of a business that the two of you start together, some kind of a mission or a purpose, a shared interest, goals and values that you have, that you really build on with each other. Seeds that have been untapped within each of you are really activated by this connection. You help to really water each other in that capacity, to nurture and encourage each other to pursue these goals, and to meet those things, meet those horizons and those dreams that you have head on. With this indecision, this can talk about somebody who maybe lives at a distance from you, or travels for work, or there's some kind of a decision that will need to be made as far as relocation is concerned. Maybe you two needing to kind of meet in the middle, both of you sort of leaving your environments, your comfort zones, in order to establish a connection together elsewhere. Or this can really talk about somebody that is then needing to kind of make that decision to relocate, to move towards you. With the Ace of Cups, this is somebody who again is emotionally mature, in touch with their emotions. With the dove in this card, this can really talk about somebody that brings you a sense of emotional peace and tranquility. There's a lot of harmony in this connection, that this connection is very healing for the two of you, and that this is somebody, again, with that energy of protection. You feel very safe in their proximity, in their space. This could be somebody also with the house card who is very handy, maybe somebody who works in construction, somebody who, perhaps even fixes and flips houses, has something to do with real estate as a profession. Birds are very significant to this connection as well, with the dove and then these two penguins. And so this can really talk about, again, somebody with who is very adept in terms of their communication skills. This can talk about a connection that is kind of at a distance. So maybe something that is sparked online first, or something that, again, maybe travel is involved. And so there's a lot of need to communicate, at least in these early stages or at different periods of time, remotely with one another via text or via email. This person could also, I'm just seeing here, this person could have dark hair or long hair, whether this is a male or a female, that can apply. Maybe this is somebody who, if they are, a biological male or biological female, maybe they had long hair at one point in time, and you meet them at a point where they have just cut their hair, or, kind of looking back on who they were in their younger years, their appearance might have been a lot different, a lot more wild, or almost, in a sense, kind of unkept compared to kind of this polished exterior that they have now cultivated as they have kind of grown and sort of matured. With these both the trees in these cards as well, there can be some kind of an agricultural connection. This could be somebody who is interested in gardening, somebody who has kind of a vegan or a vegetarian lifestyle, somebody who is interested in kind of conservation, in environmentalism, somebody who is very mindful of these things, somebody also who family is very important, somebody who could work for a family business, or be sort of creating something that is a legacy, something that will live on beyond the two of you, or they have these dreams and these goals to create or contribute, or to continue to foster something, maybe again like a family legacy, something that predates them even, that they've kind of taken up this mantle for, to continuing on in their lifetime, with the intention of kind of having something to leave to future generations to come. So I'm going to get some additional kind of zodiac signs, and this can be either somewhere in this person's chart. This could also relate to a time of year that is significant to when you meet this person, or significant to this connection. So we've got Aries energy. So again, that can be somewhere in their chart, or this can relate to the months of March and April. We have Pisces energy. So again, somewhere in the chart, or that can relate to the months of February and March. Got Libra, and that is September and October. Aquarius, which is January and February. Sagittarius, so November and December, and Leo, which is July and August. I'm going to get some of these attribute cards. This can be physical characteristics. There's initials in here. There can be things they do for a living, just a little bit of everything. Okay, and we've got short, so that can tie in with the idea of short hair, or they could be kind of short in stature. And we've got Virgo, so that could appear somewhere in their chart, or can relate to the time of year that is significant to this connection. And Virgo season is in August and September. We have starseed, so you could resonate as a starseed. You both could have shared lifetimes, previous lifetimes, both in the earthly realm and also in kind of more distant realms or dimensions. And we have kind, so that ties into the energy of peace, the peacefulness that you feel in this connection. Somebody who is very gentle in their approach to others and to the world. Somebody who has very kind words to speak, a lot of words of encouragement. And it's this element of kindness, I feel, that really helps you to kind of get beyond any kind of barriers or hangups or kind of a closed off energy that you might have about maybe this person's motivations when you meet them, or some things that might be triggered about within you through the connection. And we have dancing. So you might meet this person at a dance class. You could take dance classes together, dance lessons. Maybe they're a dance instructor, or they just like to take you dancing. Music could be a significant factor as well in this connection. And we have clever. So somebody who, is very kind of quick with their responses, somebody who gives really good advice, somebody who's very good at communication as well. And kind of the communication between you flows very seamlessly. Time almost seeming to evaporate when the two of you are, really engaged in discussions. And we've got curly hair. Loyal, so somebody who is really going to work to earn your trust, and over time and through their consistency, you're really going to understand how this person has your best interests at heart. And we've got average height, dimples, wedding. So confirmation there. Obviously this is a future spouse reading, so confirmation there in case you needed it, that this is somebody that you will marry. In case, again, this kind of feels pertinent to that energy of almost these triggers or these doubts or hesitations you may have, and just maybe this being that extra confirmation that you will get through these things, this kind of difficult period, this period of indecision about investing in this connection more, opening up, or kind of staying within the comfort zone, or not really giving this person kind of a chance to really prove themselves. And so again, this confirmation that this situation will result in marriage between the both of you. You could also meet this person at a wedding. They may have something to do. Maybe they are a caterer or some kind of a musician, some kind of an officiant. And so weddings may have, or maybe they are a wedding photographer or a wedding planner, something that really has to do with their profession. And it could also be kind of the venue or the means through which you meet this person, maybe at a friend's wedding and you are introduced, or you might both be, somebody in somebody's bridal. You might be in the bridal party and they might be, a groomsman, or vice versa, or however that resonates for your situation. Just some kind of proximity to that. And this energy of wedding also really ties into kind of a combining of forces, that together you are both able to really marry your talents and your abilities, almost this yin-yang energy that you share, to where seeds of goals and dreams that you have had just kind of waiting dormant, or that you've been working toward independently. There's an energy of really being able to fast track these things, enhancing your abilities jointly and individually in some way through the combining of your energies and your resources and kind of the influence of one another in your lives. And we have casual, so this person could be kind of casual in their dress or their manner. This really talks about somebody who puts people at ease as well. Could also be kind of a casual setting that you meet them in, or something that really just starts off as, again, friendship first, and you're needing to, kind of get to know each other on that platonic level before the romance is really entered into. And we have divorce. So they could be divorced. You could meet this person after having gone through a divorce yourself, which could really tie into kind of these kind of worries or triggers that you have. If you've never been married before and this person is divorced, that could be almost perceived as kind of a red flag for you as well at first, where you're a little hesitant about getting involved with somebody maybe that had a marriage that didn't work out, or a series of marriages that didn't work out, and that this is something that is a hurdle that will need to be kind of overcome. But with the Six of Swords, it shows that, that is definitely kind of transcended with time. And we've got the letter M. Genuine. So this ties into, again, that idea of loyalty and kindness. This person is very much, what you see is what you get kind of person. That in time you will really see that their motives are genuine, that this is somebody who doesn't, have ulterior motives. There's not a lot of sneakiness going on. And despite any sort of triggers that you might be faced with, or hesitations or defensiveness, that it's the genuine nature of this person, somebody who really follows through on the promises they make with corresponding actions that helps you to kind of let those barriers and those guards down. And we also have farm, so that ties in with this idea of agriculture. Someone who could live in kind of a rural area, maybe is working toward moving out into a rural area, kind of a more sustainable lifestyle, somebody who's interested in agriculture or farming, vegan or vegetarian lifestyle. And we have well-groomed. So that was coming through with kind of this change in their appearance, either that they are telling you about, or maybe as you're seeing pictures of this person from earlier in their life or when they were younger compared to kind of when you meet them. And it's almost this night and day contrast to how they really present themselves, almost somebody who is needed to kind of clean up their appearance, maybe due to something that they do for work, some kind of a public impression that they're needing to give that is quite contrary to how they would be sort of presenting themselves if they had the ability to choose that. And we have concerts, so that ties in with the idea of music and dancing. You could go to a lot of concerts with this person. They could be a musician. Music could be very important to this connection. And we have journalist, so somebody who, again, is very good at communications. Maybe this is somebody that they do for a living, or this is somebody who likes to read, is keeps up on current events. Somebody who, again, kind of that idea of traveling for work as well. And we have tattoos. So they could have tattoos. Maybe they are a tattoo artist, or even in terms of timing, you could be getting a tattoo, or they could have gotten some kind of a tattoo that is kind of a significant event, a marker, a milestone, or maybe even just kind of a lifestyle choice of having tattoos and physical adornment in that sense, and in some way that relates to kind of the proximity of time when you meet this person. Maybe you two get tattoos together. You tattoo on wedding rings, for example, or have some kind of artwork put on both of your bodies that really signifies that bond and that loyalty and that commitment to one another. We've got the letter X. And we have playful. So somebody who has kind of a youthful spirit to them, somebody with who could be kind of almost a young soul, or just really makes you kind of move beyond any sort of tension or difficulties that you're facing. Somebody who brings a lot of peace into your life, and somebody who just really helps you to look at the brighter side of life and kind of let loose and maybe go out dancing, go to a concert, just do something fun to kind of rejuvenate you and reinvigorate you. And we have local, so somebody who could live near you or moves to your area. And we've got social media, so you could meet this person online, or again, there could be a lot of sort of communication or getting to know one another virtually. And we've got chemistry, so a lot of attraction between the both of you. This feels like somebody that it'll almost be kind of a love at first sight situation when you're both almost unconsciously very drawn to one another. And as you really open up and get to know one another, there are all these layers of chemistry that really sort of reveal themselves, this deep compatibility that you share, this yin-yang kind of energy. They might also have majored in chemistry in school, or might be studying that, or this is something to do with their profession. And we have tan, dark complexion. Passionate. So somebody who might have a particular cause, maybe environmentalism, something to do with their lifestyle, something to do with some kind of dream or goal that they're pursuing, some legacy they are trying to build or that they've kind of taken on or taken over, that is very near and dear to their heart. Somebody who also with that Ace of Cups energy is very romantic as well. Somebody who will not be afraid to show you affection, will not be afraid to speak the truth of their feelings. And we have festivals, so that can tie in with the idea of concert and dancing, outdoor activities that are pertinent to your situation. Maybe something that this person organizes or works at, or again, kind of that idea of music is coming through. So maybe they are a musician, or they like to go to festivals. And we've got opinionated, so that's tying in with this energy of passionate, some kind of cause or some kind of a goal or a dream that they have that they're very firm about. They're very fixed in this idea and almost are pursuing this at any cost. And we have doctors, so they could be in medical school, they could be a doctor, or even some kind of a healer. Just their energy and the dynamic between the both of you is very healing. Helps to really heal a lot of the wounds that you had sustained from heartbreaks of the past. And we have signs, so this can talk about the two of you being the same zodiac sign or a lot of compatibility in your natal chart. There could be a lot of signs and synchronicities that you are getting as well around the time that you meet this person. Or kind of in sort of that immediate stage after you've started to get to know each other and they've come into your world, where, it's just this kind of overwhelming synchronicity after synchronicity that is really kind of drawing you to this understanding that this connection has some greater significance than just, other circumstances you've been in. This is more than just kind of the average person that you're meeting, that there's something significant, something big here, something beyond just kind of that surface level chemistry. And we've got nurse, so that ties in again with that energy of kind of the healer. So they could be a nurse, maybe they're going to nursing school, or again, just really help you to kind of nurse through and repair some wounds that you have had, to kind of open up your heart as well to the idea of love again after maybe being hurt or disappointed. And we've got night owls, so they could work the night shift. Maybe they have some kind of a passion or a goal that they are working on kind of after hours. This could be somebody that has, that 9 to 5 career, and then maybe they are, a musician after hours. That's something that they're working towards as well. Aside from whatever their day job is, or somebody that you interact with a lot at night. The two of you could be kind of creative individuals, sort of burning that midnight oil. And we also have morning person, so that ties into this idea almost of somebody who might work that kind of, that day job, but then also have this whole other kind of aspect of themselves that they sort of partake in or participate in kind of after hours. This can also talk about late nights into early mornings, so somebody who kind of works graveyard shift or swing shift, or something where, even potential kind of time differences between the both of you where, it's nighttime where you are and morning where they are, or vice versa, and you're kind of having to reach out and accommodate your schedules, make adjustments in order to kind of meet in the middle at different points in time, either initially in the connection or at various points, maybe if they are traveling for work. And this can also tie into that yin-yang energy, this opposites energy. Maybe one of you is a morning person and the other one's a night owl, and despite this kind of seeming difference, somehow you make it work. And we have shy, so somebody who could be a little bit introverted, somebody who, it takes them a lot of courage and time to kind of work up that courage to really approach you, and to, kind of the pace that you're needing to go very slowly at letting the guard down. It feels that it fits very well with this person's personality as well, where, they're very comfortable with taking things slowly and kind of getting to know each other gradually. And we have long face. Direct. So again, someone who's not going to really beat around the bush, somebody who's very good at communicating their emotions, making their intentions known, following through on the words that are spoken with complementary actions. And we have desert, so they could live in the desert. You could spend time in the desert with one another. This is also bringing up kind of the idea of desert festivals, music festivals, something that you go to, something that they work at, maybe that they perform at some of these things. Or this can also really talk about this person coming into your life after kind of a desert, a drought, when there's not been a lot happening in your love life. You've been sort of closed off to love, and this person is almost that oasis in the desert. And we have mentors, so they could be some kind of a teacher. They could do outreach work for people. This also really talks about this person kind of having a lot of wisdom to impart to you, some ideas that you might not have occurred to you about goals and dreams you've been trying to pursue, and kind of ways to do that. Somebody who, really helps and encourages you, offers you that kind of constructive criticism to really staying on track with some things that you want to achieve in this lifetime. And we have scientist, so they could be a very logically minded person. They could be very interested in science, do something with that for a profession, maybe in regards to ecology and conservationism even, something that, brings them kind of on a course of needing to travel or kind of go away for periods of time to study, maybe something that they are studying in school, even kind of a science major. They could be a science teacher with that idea of scientist and mentor, and also kind of that doctor and nurse energy, this very kind of technical or medically minded person. And we also have skill, so they could be very adept at whatever their profession is, or again, kind of that idea with house, somebody who's very handy around the house, who knows how to fix things, somebody who has kind of a mechanical mind, who understands technology and, does a lot of do-it-yourself kind of things, either as a hobby or maybe something that they do for a profession or that they are interested in kind of cultivating. This person could also be very skilled in their communications as well. Somebody who really knows how to talk to people, to talk to different types of people, somebody who is very skilled in terms of the healing that they deliver consciously or unconsciously through energy exchanges with other people and with you. And we have vacation, so you could meet this person while on vacation. They might be on vacation. You could be in kind of a mutual location, or they have come to where you are, you've gone to where they live, and that really sparks up the connection. And it also feels that this situation, this future spouse, it almost feels like this very necessary kind of sigh of relief that is quite a contrast to tension you've experienced in relationships of the past, that this connection helps you to really be able to relax, to step into your authenticity, to express and reveal parts of yourself that maybe other partners of the past were not able to appreciate. And we've got the letter L. Online, so that ties in with social media. There might be a lot of emailing back and forth, somebody you meet online, a lot of direct messages on social media. And we've got grounded, so somebody who really has kind of a clear picture of where they want to go in life, what they are working towards. Somebody who, is again kind of practical and logical, somebody who's very good with their finances, somebody who's very realistic in terms of what they want to achieve and the steps necessary to do that. And we have restaurant. So this person could have a dream of opening a restaurant. They could work in a restaurant. They could be a chef, or they could work, in other capacities in that, be kind of a restaurant manager, or kind of a waiter or a waitress within a restaurant, a server, or, just in some way food is very important. Again, this idea of like a vegan or vegetarian, or just somebody who's very, good in the kitchen, somebody who likes to cook, somebody who, that's kind of their form of artistry, is what they are able to really craft in the kitchen, whether this is professionally or just for the two of you together. And somebody who really is going to want you to savor the best of what love can have to offer. Somebody who's going to want to give you the best of them. Somebody who's going to want to make you feel special, feel pampered, feel appreciated. somebody who's not just going to give you the mediocre, but is going to make sure that, what they are delivering to you in terms of consistency and the time spent together is a very special experience with one another. Somebody who's really going to look at every day as a special occasion with you. You could both go out to dinner a lot. Maybe you both work in a restaurant and you meet that way as well. And this can also, again, just really talk about somebody who kind of has an attention for detail as well, and somebody who's, maybe in some other kind of capacity of sort of a hospitality or kind of a service profession as well. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 1, and this could be first, middle, or last name of you or this person. It could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. I've got B, Y, Z, P, Q, G, K, V, W, X, I, and J. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some kind of peace or confirmation from what came through in the reading, and it also helps my channel to grow, so I deeply appreciate that as well. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and dreamcatchers and suncatchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the black tourmaline along with these cards, which I'll start with to get some of the details about your future spouse. Got the Four of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Ace of Swords, air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Three of Swords, so more air energy. The Thinking Man. Never-ending Story. Forgiveness. Change. High Honor. And Main Male. So this could possibly be somebody from your past, somebody that you had gone through kind of a separation from with the Three of Swords, some kind of heartbreak, also with the forgiveness card, somebody who kind of comes back around with an apology, having really realized, thinking, man, your value and your worth, somebody who has really seen the light of this connection with the Ace of Swords and recognized that if there had been some kind of indecision before, that there's a certainty that you are the one they want to spend their life with this idea, of change. This can also really talk about a change of heart, a changing of the mind as well. And, again, kind of this idea with never-ending story of not really being able to move on from this connection fully, not being able to get you out of their mind, not being able to get you out of their heart. You've been deeply entrenched there, and no matter where the world has kind of taken them or life has taken them, other experiences that they've had, they keep coming back to you. They keep comparing others to you. You hold the key to their heart in some way. And so, again, future spouse could be somebody from your past who comes back almost in this changed energy. Somebody who has seen the light, somebody who is asking for forgiveness, is wanting to really step up and be that person that you need them to be. Somebody who is wanting to, hold this connection in high regard, in high honor, to participate in this connection more fully and regularly than they had previously. If this is not somebody from your past, this can really be something that a connection you might have gone through, kind of a series of disappointments that seemed like like a never-ending loop, almost this sense of feeling you were never going to meet the one, where you had really kind of come to the point of almost giving up, feeling very discouraged, very kind of downtrodden by kind of coming up against a lot of sort of dead ends or things that didn't really manifest or develop into anything very certain. You could have really seen a lot of people around you kind of pairing up with others, finding their forever person, settling down, getting married, and feeling like you were kind of left out of this equation as well, that you were almost being left behind from something, from experiencing that kind of richness in love, and just sort of this idea of almost some mediocrity that you might have been experiencing in connections in the past, or a lot of people that were just unwilling with these three cups that are standing here, unwilling to really settle down or commit, just encountering people that kind of just wanted to play the field, weren't really looking for anything serious. You weren't able to find kind of that forever person. And then this person comes in almost as this renewed opportunity of love, almost in a way that feels very divinely orchestrated. There could be a lot of synchronicity or serendipity that kind of coincides with your meeting of this person, to where, again, right when you're at that brink of just kind of throwing in the towel, giving up on love, coming to that place of, acceptance within yourself that maybe you are just destined to kind of walk through this journey in life alone, or at least for this time, that this person really represents kind of a change in what you'd expect experienced in terms of the dating pool or, romantic potentials from other people. And with this Ace of Swords, this talks about this sense of certainty, almost this immediate kind of energy that hits the both of you, finding each other almost when you are not looking for it, when you're least expecting it, just kind of running into each other, seeing each other from across a crowded room even, and just locking eyes and being very magnetized to one another, this sense of certainty. This can also really, with the Three of Swords, talk about a heart chakra activation that happens, something that really stirs or moves within you when you encounter this person for the first time, and vice versa. This can also be somebody with the thinking man who, and this idea of kind of observation here, somebody who's been watching you from afar, somebody who has noticed you first, somebody who sees you first across that crowded room, maybe sees you online, on social media. Maybe you have some kind of public platform, or, they've seen something that you've posted, for example, or you have friends in common, and this person has just really been kind of struck or taken aback by you, by something, even just in your photos or in that very just kind of removed stance. There's something within them that stirs this certainty where they can't get you off their mind. They can't stop thinking about you. They have no choice but to reach out. They can't really look away, or, to continue to remain in kind of as strangers, or to remain in this kind of energy of silence and distance. It is not serving them. Somebody who's really needing to kind of take the lead, take some action in this sense with the main males. It feels like somebody who is the one to reach out first, is the one to kind of make that move, make that approach, make that declaration, speak that truth, ask you out, strike up a conversation, open those lines of communication between the both of you. And this can also be somebody with this change in the thinking man, somebody who's kind of outside of your usual type and expectation. There may be things about them which is kind of unconventional. I'm getting this feeling that there might be some kind of an age difference between the both of you, to where this is outside of the usual type of person that you go for, or that you would consider as kind of the type of person that you are looking for, and that this person is going to help to change your perspective in a lot of ways about that. This is going to require you to kind of open your mind, to broaden your perspective and your horizon, to look beyond appearances and really feel into kind of that soul truth of what exists, and kind of what this person is bringing to the table or offering to you that is beyond kind of these requisites that you may have had for the type of partner that you've been looking for. With this element of high honor, this could be somebody that has a military connection, maybe is active duty military or is a veteran. Maybe you both meet through the military, for example. This speaks also of somebody who has a very solid moral compass. If you had experienced situations of people in the past who, maybe there was infidelity in connections in your past, or people who, just kind of wanted to be in that sort of player mentality, playing the field, not really wanting to settle down or commit to one person. This is somebody who almost feels like an old-fashioned kind of energy, where this is somebody who's very interested in monogamy, somebody who is very interested in when they make a promise to somebody, or when they kind of set their sights on somebody, the focus is that individual. This is not somebody, and maybe they are even just in a place in their life where they have done that. They have sown their oats in whatever way that resonates for you, or really kind of played the field or tested the waters, seen what's out there, and they are at this point in their life when they encounter you of being looking for that solid foundation, looking for that steady relationship, looking for the one, not being willing to just kind of move from kind of casual relationship to casual relationship, but somebody who is very much focused on kind of changing those patterns or those behaviors in their life, somebody who has kind of changed some kind of lifestyle choice in that capacity. Somebody who, will want to kind of take things slow, will want to, respect you and almost court you in a way. And again, kind of this sort of an old-fashioned sense of somebody who, is wanting to take things very slowly. And as much as there is this attraction and this sense of certainty, somebody who's kind of wanting to build that romance up, kind of in a way that, isn't part of like a hookup culture, but is again, this idea of sort of courting one another, of really getting to know one another. having some kind of boundaries and barriers over the pace at which the connection unfolds, at which, layers of intimacy and levels in that sense are really kind of stepped into. Somebody who is looking at this connection in kind of a long-term capacity. And it is this almost slow buildup, this watching from afar, this thinking before taking that approach, before taking things slowly to kind of unwrap this connection and the potential between the both of you at a very gradual pace that really helps to kind of build this foundation and almost this enduring chemistry between the both of you. This feels like somebody who will almost continue to court you after you have married them, after this, moves into a solid and stable and kind of long-term and official commitment. This is somebody who will continue to, sort of plan date nights or be very spontaneous, with kind of the presentation of flowers or gifts, or, will make sure to compliment you, will, almost treat interactions with you as if they're still very fresh in that honeymoon stage. This is something as well that, with this element of forgiveness, it's, any kind of a slow pace that this person takes, any kind of this deliberate pace that they take, it feels that in the sort of in those initial stages, that in the long term, after this kind of develops into a marriage, that, you'll be able to forgive them for any kind of, it feels that there might even be an element of frustration at how kind of slow this person is taking things, and almost wishing that they would kind of get to the point, or that the relationship could develop a little bit faster, feeling that it would almost kind of never evolve to that next stage. But when it does, when that kind of gift of this person and what this connection develops into is unwrapped, it makes it so worth it. It makes you be able to kind of look back and sort of forgive them for, being very deliberate and methodical and kind of slow with opening up into this situation. It's something that really changes your mind in terms of kind of what is possible in love and partnerships. Ideas that, you may have had about at some point the honeymoon stage dissolves, and then it just, relationships kind of develop into a stance of being kind of just comfortable with one another and appreciating one another on a different level. That in some way, this feels like a connection that stays very fresh. And, although all relationships, they evolve, they develop, people get comfortable in one another's company. That there is this very necessary kind of tempering that takes place in any sort of long-term relationship or marriage. But this feels like a connection that, despite all of that, there is this very fresh energy that continues to kind of flow through this marriage, that makes this a connection that, is not just because you've married this person, but in terms of kind of looking back on your romantic past and partners that you've been with, and even the ways in which this person is so outside of the box from your usual type, that it's something that you hold this in high regard. This is somebody that is the love of your life. They stand out above the rest, even about people you might have considered, or an individual you might have considered to be your true love, and maybe something that didn't work out that you had needed to move on from, or kind of an idea of unrequited love. This person really kind of fulfills those needs for you and exceeds any of that. They somehow change your definition of the nature of love, what that means, and what is possible between two people in a partnership. So also in terms of maybe like a physical quality, this person could have facial hair, a beard, or a mustache. And yeah, it feels that they are also very good with communication. This could be somebody who's kind of soft-spoken in their words, somebody who, really gets to the point with what they say as well. When they, they might be kind of quiet, but when they speak, the words that they speak have meaning. Somebody who's very direct in their approach as well. Automobiles might be significant. Somebody who either is very mechanically minded, maybe they are a mechanic or a car salesman, for example, or somebody who, it's the automobile is very significant. Travel and distance. Distance might be a factor between the both of you. Again, with that idea of kind of watching online, watching from a distance. You two may need to travel to one another, or a lot of this connection takes place remotely before you kind of meet in the middle, or kind of move towards that more solid partnership with one another. This person could also travel for work. That could take them to different locations as well. Or this is somebody who just in their life is very well traveled, has seen a lot of the world, has really, again, with that idea of travel, kind of run the gamut in terms of different types of relationship experiences. And when they come into your life, they are really at the point point of wanting to change some kind of tendency, or even change the type of partner that they were really settling for or looking for, that somehow their priorities have changed, and the action steps they've taken to really make those changes a reality are what magnetize the two of you into one another's lives. So I'm going to get some additional zodiac signs that can be either somewhere in this person's chart, or this can relate to a time of year that is significant to when you meet them, or to this this relationship. And we have Libra, which can either again be in their chart, or that can really tie into the months of September and October. And we've got Aquarius, so January and February. And we have Pisces, which is February and March. Got Virgo, which is August and September. And Sagittarius, which is November and December. So I'm going to get some of these attribute papers now, and there's a little bit of everything in here. There's physical characteristics, there can be personality traits, things they do for a living, initials, zodiac signs. I'm actually going to get a couple more for you. Okay, and we've got February, so that can be a significant month for this connection, or that can even tie into the zodiac signs of Aquarius and, Capricorn and Aquarius. No, is that? Yeah. No, I'm sorry, Aquarius and Pisces, excuse me. Got the letter F. Okay, and we've got the month of May, so that could either be somebody's name, or that can relate to the month of May itself, or this can also relate to the zodiac signs of Taurus and Gemini. We've got brown hair. Light eyes. Philanthropist. So somebody who is very giving and nurturing in their nature, somebody who may donate time or resources to helping others, to causes, somebody who may work in conjunction with some kind of philanthropic organization, or again, somebody who's really interested in kind of giving back, sort of the wisdom that life has imparted upon them. They feel that, they almost have this obligation to be of service with others, to convey some kind of a message, or to help and to heal, help others kind of reach their goals and dreams. And we've got October, so another month that might be significant, or this can tie into the zodiac signs of Libra and Scorpio. And we've got grounded, so somebody who, is very kind of logically minded, somebody who is financially stable, somebody who has a plan of action of what they want for their life, and is already in the process of taking steps to achieve that, or has taken steps to achieve that. Somebody who might be very kind of solid and stable in terms of their career, in terms of their life. They have a lot going for them when you meet them. This isn't somebody who's a work in progress, but somebody who is very certain of who they are, somebody who's very comfortable in their own skin as well. We've got straight hair. Twin flame. So this could be your twin flame in terms of that idea of someone from the past returning, maybe in this changed or evolved energy. This can talk about a twin flame union. This could be your twin flame that you are meeting for the first time, and maybe some process of separation happens. You two need to go your separate ways for a period of time, only to eventually come back together in union and in marriage. This can also talk about if you consider yourself a twin flame and you are on a twin flame journey, maybe you have made the decision to release the idea of physical 3D union with your twin in this lifetime. You've opened your mind and your heart to exploring other connections, finding love elsewhere, and that this person could really represent, that very divine, high vibrational love that you were seeking that was just not able to be achieved with your twin in this lifetime. Kind of that idea of the universe not wanting us to suffer and be lonely. And when we choose ourselves, when we choose to invest in ourselves and our own well-being, as opposed to kind of holding out hope and putting our life on hold with the expectation that somebody else will change or evolve or kind of get with the program. When we choose ourselves, then the universe will meet us in response with, people who will choose us as well. So again, you could be a twin flame who has chosen to move in another direction romantically, and that who you marry is, might also be somebody on a twin flame journey. Both of you have kind of chosen to move in a different direction, or you as the twin flame really intersecting with somebody who is able to kind of meet you at your level and provide you that reciprocity of love that you have been seeking. And we have younger, so there could be an age difference between the both of you. This can also talk about somebody who's kind of a young soul, somebody who, as much as they are grounded, is very kind of almost has a beginner's mind with the thinking man, somebody who's almost the student of life, has a curiosity, a thirst for knowledge, maybe even, a desire to travel, to experience other cultures as well. And we have soul connection, so that can tie in with the idea of twin flame, or, this just also really speaks to, this deep bond that the two of you will share. With all of this kind of swords energy and this mental, with the thinking man also, this can tie into a lot of telepathy between the both of you, kind of this psychic connection that you share, this very empathic connection that you share at the soul level with one another. This can even be somebody you have had past lives with as well. And while there is this recognition of them at the soul level, obviously the nature and circumstances of how you have both incarnated in this lifetime, this might be kind of a reversal of roles, a change in the dynamic from what you had experienced previously. And while there's this familiarity, there is this sense of rediscovering one another again. And we have math. So this could be something that they majored in school. This could be maybe they are a math teacher, or they do something to do with math as a profession, something with, mechanics even. Physics is coming through, science, things of that discipline. This can also talk about this very logically minded person, somebody who, is introspective, somebody who is very observant, somebody who's very measured in their words as well, really thinks before speaking, not somebody who's very impulsive, but somebody who is very contemplated and measured in kind of what they deliver and present out. And we have direct, so that ties in with that energy of, contemplative, somebody who's very measured in their thoughts and in their speech, somebody who's not really prone to kind of outbursts of rage or anger, impulsivity, but somebody who really is very mindful about the words that they speak and about the way that they move through the world. And we have eccentric, so there could be something very unique about this person's lifestyle, maybe about some kind of way that they dress, some kind of a belief system that they have, some kind of practice that they have. Again, this idea of them being very different from your usual type and expectation in some way. We've got museums, so this could be a history buff, somebody who's interested in archaeology, or again, just other cultures, other time periods. That idea of museum ties into that past life connection as well. They could work at a museum, or you two enjoy spending time at, cultural museums, art museums, for example. With that idea of philanthropists, they could be on some kind of a committee for a museum, donate time to that, money and resources to that, toward the arts, or toward, again, just kind of funding and sustaining some kind of, collections of antiquities or information. And we have star seed, so you could resonate as a star seed, and the two of you have spent lifetimes together in other galaxies and other kind of planes of existence in other worlds. This also talks to an otherworldly aspect to this connection. Somebody who, with that eccentricity, the two of you might really resonate as people, as kind of black sheeps of your family, or you don't really fit in. You feel very alien in this world. It's, you have very kind of unique tastes and interests, and it's hard to really find people that you resonate with at a deep soul level. But that the two of you really click, you really bond at this very kind of deep-rooted connection between the both of you. That sort of defies explanation, it defies logic, it defies reason. There's a sense of comfort and familiarity with one another that's not been very easy to replicate in other situations. And we have yoga. So you could both enjoy doing yoga. You might meet this person at a yoga class. They could be a yoga instructor. This really ties in with this idea of kind of this very calm demeanor, this soft-spoken demeanor that this person has as well. Yoga might have really helped them to kind of change their life in a lot of ways, to help work through some kind of anger or frustration, to kind of temper and tame their energy in some way. Maybe this has been something that's almost a transcendental experience for them too, in terms of yoga as a spiritual path, just in terms of that energy of mindfulness as well. And we've got divorce. So this person might have been married previously, maybe more than once. You also might have been married previously more than once. And the two of you really meeting after that period of time, after other kind of connections have fallen apart. Something where, as you have maybe gotten back into the dating world after getting a divorce, and you've just really been coming up short. You haven't really been able to kind of find anyone that you connect with. This sense of almost having missed the boat in some way in terms of love and partnership. And that this person kind of comes around at almost that 11th hour, this person being almost that Hail Mary pass that you feel, you're ready to give up, that maybe you're just meant to go through the rest of your life alone, and they are also feeling that, and the two of you really just intersecting and finding each other almost by magic. This can also talk about if you have never been divorced, this could be somebody who has been in a marriage previously or several marriages previously, and that being something that is very different from your usual type and expectation, where there might be some hesitancy, kind of not being sure how you feel about that. But this person and just the experience that you have with them really opening your mind to seeing beyond that, seeing beyond those kind of circumstances, and really feeling into the potential and what exists between the both of you. And we have social media. So this could be an online connection at first. There could be, again, with that element of distance, living kind of in different locations from one another. Somebody who sees you online, sees you from afar, maybe on a dating website, maybe on some other type of social media platform that really you captivate them. You capture their attention. They're fixated on you. They can't stop thinking about you and watching you. And it takes some time and a period of observation before they then reach out. And we have veterinarians. So animals could be significant to this connection. They could be going to school for that. This could be something that they do for a profession as well. And that also really ties in with this idea of somebody who's very empathic as well. Somebody who's very intuitive and very compassionate. With that element of philanthropy, they could also really, helping animals could be a cause that is close to their heart. And we have long distance, so another confirmation of that with social media and that element with the automobile and change, where there might be a period of time where you're needing to really get to know each other, exchange remotely with one another before kind of meeting up in the physical, or before kind of relocating to be with one another. And we have Virgo, so this can relate to something in their chart, or this can relate to the time of year, and Virgo season is August and September. Got the letter R. Got the letter T. We've got intelligent, so that ties in with the thinking man and all that swords energy. Somebody who, has kind of a high IQ, or somebody who, is just very studious, kind of a student of life, somebody who has a lot of information, knows a lot, is a source of wisdom and advice. Somebody who is very, again, kind of measured and very observant in the way they move through the world, as opposed to very impulsive. Somebody who, when they speak, the words that they have to convey are meaningful. And we've got clever, so that ties in with that energy of intelligence. Somebody who is a good communicator, somebody who is very quick-witted. And we have the month of December, so that can be, again, time of year. This can relate to the zodiac signs of Sagittarius and Capricorn. Got dimples. Clerk, so this person could be a clerk in some kind of an office, in a law office. Maybe this is something that they are interning at, or that they are doing as a profession, or maybe you are interning, you are doing this as a profession when you meet this person. This idea of clerk also ties in for me with writing, and so that idea of communication and intelligence, that this person could be very astute at the words that they use and the way in which they convey themselves, either verbally or in the written language. And we have serendipity, so that was coming up in terms of these very unique circumstances, almost by magic, that the two of you really encounter each other. Kind of this very lucky break at a point in time when you're about ready to give up on love, or you find yourself very frustrated. And we have older, so that kind of contrasts with that idea of younger that came up, and also that energy of kind of twin flame, this yin yang energy. So this could be somebody again from your past kind of returning in a more matured energy and a more kind of self-aware energy. There could be an age gap between the both of you, or this can even tie into a past life connection. And we have night owls, so you could communicate with this person a lot in the evenings. This could be somebody who works nights, or maybe has some kind of a significant secondary hobby or endeavor that they are working toward. Somebody who's in night school, or maybe somebody who works and is also going to school at nights. And we also have family, so somebody who may have children from a previous relationship, or there could be some kind of a family connection. This person could work in some kind of a family business, or be in some kind of a profession that is kind of a legacy within their family line. This also ties into the idea of this person being soul family to you, in the sense of familiarity that you have with one another. Also a sense of your families blending really well together, your families both being very approving and accepting and encouraging of this connection. And we have morning person, so again, that idea of kind of this yin yang energy, this kind of somebody being very different from your usual type and expectation. Maybe somebody who, there's a lot of differences between the both of you as individuals, and yet this really works. Somebody who could work a 9-to-5 job, kind of something they do during the day, and then they've got this whole other aspect of themselves that they are focusing on or trying to build at nights as well. There could also, with that idea of sort of long distance, maybe there's a time zone difference as well, to where it's, night for one of you and morning for the other, and you're kind of meeting in the middle in these communications. And we have black hair. Same age, so got pretty much every kind of age, younger, older, and same age. And we've got talkative, so a lot of communication between the both of you, a lot of exchanges on social media even, and this also feels like somebody that you'll have a lot in common with, or you'll really learn a lot from one another. It'll be an ease of communication between the both of you. You'll feel very comfortable in one another's presence. And we've got Libra, so another zodiac sign, or this can relate to the time of year, and Libra season is September and October. We've got short hair. Fastidious, somebody who is well groomed, who keeps their appearance very clean, their home very clean. And we've got the letter A. Well dressed. So that ties in with the idea of fastidious. This could also tie into something that they do for a living that requires them to almost, wear business attire, suit and tie, or, something beyond casual wear. Somebody who's just very meticulous in how they sort of look, how they put themselves together. Somebody who might be kind of fashion conscious, or, even if they have a very free and kind of eccentric style of dress, a manner of dress that is kind of different from the way people usually are dressed, or people around them. This could again be something that it's a unique look that is all their own, but they always look put together. And we've got Kundalini awakening, so this can really be an indication of a lot of passion in this connection with the both of you. This connection really sparking something within you. Really awakening you to, again, this new idea of what love can be and partnership can be, and kind of how intimacy can be experienced and expressed between two people. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 2. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got Y, Z, X, L T C N D U K Q and B. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some kind of peace and confirmation from what came through in the reading. And it also helps my channel to grow, so I deeply appreciate that. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the orange calcite along with these cards, which I'll start with to get some details about your future spouse. Got the 9 of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Got the 9 of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We've got the Emperor, which is Aries energy. Patience. Poised. Abundance. poverty, message of concern, and mature man. So there could definitely be an age difference between you and this person with this idea of mature man, and that could be something that really sticks out about them. They could be somebody who is at a period of their life with the Emperor where they have established themselves in the world in some way. Maybe this is somebody who owns their own business, has created some kind of a company, who has achieved some degree of notoriety and kind of success and fame in their chosen profession. This can also be with this element of patience. This could be somebody that you meet later in life. This could be somebody that, they are again kind of older, or they are kind of up in age when you meet them. This feels like a connection, a relationship. This future spouse that is being tapped into here is almost somebody who you've had to kiss a lot of frogs in order to get to this one, to get to this king, this prince, this emperor, gender aside, that it's something that has really tested your patience. You may, when this person comes into your life with that 9 of Wands, you might be in a very guarded energy. This idea of the wounded warrior, where you've had a lot of heartbreaks, you've had a lot of disappointments, with this 9 of Swords also, where there's almost this sense of anxiety and worry that you're having and about not wanting to repeat these kind of same cycles again, feeling very stuck and very unwilling to open the door to a connection that is just going to be a repeat of more of the same. With this idea of poverty, you really might have been struggling with kind of a lack mentality as far as love is concerned, some kind of pessimism, again, kind of guardedness, or a lot of anxiety that has resulted from connections of the past. And it's sort of this this period of the lack mentality that has in some way calls this person in the sense of, you might have really been praying for deliverance from this, just kind of surrendering yourself to spirit, and just saying that you really can't take much more of this heartbreak, that you've made a commitment to yourself to maybe even break out of some kind of cycles of toxicity that you've experienced in connections in the past. You spent a lot of time alone, a lot of time in your own energy, focusing on yourself, taking back your power from situations that had really disempowered you in a lot of ways. You may have been on this very kind of intricate sort of self-healing, self-love journey. You've really raised your vibration and kind of tried to make the most of some very unfortunate circumstances for yourself, maybe in life and in love. And it's in this energy, in this sort of self-directed focus, in this place of, not really necessarily having a lot of potential around you, or, being, again, with this energy kind of discernment and guardedness. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. This can definitely be where you've broken out of some patterns of codependency within yourself. You've raised the bar in terms of what you're willing to accept out of love and partnerships. And it's this energy of valuing yourself, of really taking back your power, moving even out of a lack mentality into an abundance mindset, that this is something you've really been working toward. That can be kind of a clue of the time period, if this is something that you need to start doing, that doing this can really help to kind of magnetize in this person, somebody who, even if there's no age difference, this idea of a mature man and the Emperor, this is very solid and stable energy. This is certain energy. This is reliable energy. This is the energy of wisdom as well, wisdom through experience, knowing what you will tolerate and what you will not. And so this is being something that you are really called to break out of any kind of cycles of a lack mentality and step into that abundance mindset, that doing that can really put you on track to interacting and encountering this person, or raising your vibration to where you are able to receive them. And again, this idea of message of concern is something where it almost feels that you have really reached out out to spirit, you've prayed, you've asked for guidance, you've asked for help, you've almost reached the point of, feeling that you can't really go on much longer in this energy, feeling very heartbroken and that something needs to give, maybe even a lot of cycles of disappointment in love in the past that you have experienced, and you've really surrendered all of that. And it's that energy of surrender that allows kind of the divine to step in, and that this connection could be a long time coming for you. This is the one you've been waiting for. This is your true love, this person that will become your future spouse. And it's something that feels very divinely orchestrated when they come in, almost somebody who helps you realize that it was worth the wait, that all of these kind of troubles and anxieties that you've experienced has really prepared you. It's really helped you move through something vibrationally within yourself, to be able to love yourself fully, to take back your power from situations where you'd given that away in the past, to step into this energy of tenderness and gentleness with you, with yourself, and that by cultivating that, you again are raising your vibration, which raises in what you are able to then magnetize in and experience in the form of others. This does feel to be a high level love, a higher level soulmate, some kind of a twin soul as well, that you've been kind of working through some blocks and some shadows within yourself in order to reach that place of being able to kind of receive one another. With the stars on this card here, you might resonate as star seeds. This could feel like a very, like the stars have really aligned for the two of you. You could have, the same sun sign, or your natal charts could be very complementary to one another. There's a sense of a lot of closed doors and roadblocks in both of your lives being the path that was necessary to be laid out to intersecting with one another. That your experience with this person, the love and the connection that you share, it really helps to kind of lift you out of any of that sort of residual wounding or lack mentality that you had. What this person demonstrates to you, the consistency, the care and the concern, the cognizance, the time that they take to really learn about these wounds, learn about your past in order to learn the ways in which you need to be loved more intensely, the places where you need tenderness, the places, that, maybe are things that you don't necessarily want to talk about, and to, then seek to not trigger these things, not activate these wounds, but to be very cognizant of that, very conscientious of that. Somebody who has a lot of wisdom to impart as well, and through your interactions with them, the words that are spoken, this feels to be a very healing connection. Then in a lot of ways, the love and the partnership that you experience with them, it helps you to transcend a lot of these wounds that you might have been kind of carrying around, to release some of those burdens, to let those walls down, to let that guard down. Somebody who, if you're a very anxious person, they could really put you at this place of ease. Somebody who encourages you, maybe even through a journey that they have gone through in their own life, to heal and to really come into that place of peace within themselves. That this wisdom helps you to kind of do the same, to emulate that, something that they express to you, that they share to you about their ideas or things that they participate in, teachings that they follow, beliefs that they have. It's the wisdom and the messages and the words that you needed to hear. It's almost this elixir that you have needed to kind of work through some difficulties that have kind of followed you around throughout your life, and have kind of contorted or distorted the way in which you've been able to give and receive love up to this point, or some kind of skepticism. In some way, if you'd been kind of operating in sort of this ego-based mentality, almost just being very guarded and kind of shut off to love, focusing on yourself, focusing on other things maybe that you are needing to cultivate or are wanting to cultivate in your life, that in some way this person brings a tenderness into you. Flowers could be very significant. This could be somebody who their love language is kind of giving gifts, little treats, little surprises, tender little things, little love notes that just show that they care. Somebody who's definitely got a very gentle side to them. Somebody who, with this idea of patience, this is really tying into this energy of temperance for me. Somebody who, has really worked through some struggles in their life, who has overcome some challenges and some mountains, and who has really stepped into their own, is very comfortable in their skin, is very knowledgeable, has a lot of expertise at really overcoming obstacles and challenges. And in some way, you may meet them in conjunction with that. You could both be involved in some kind of self-help practice, or in that process of really taking back your power, or working to cultivate a life of abundance for yourself, you cross paths with this person, either through something professionally. There could be a work connection here, or this could even just be something, work you are endeavoring on yourself, work you are endeavoring on the soul that they also are endeavoring. And the two of you cross paths in that way. And what might start off as a very kind of collegiate relationship, something that is very, kind of educationally based, maybe again, some kind of practice, something you both are learning about, some kind of class you're even taking, something to do with self-help, something that starts off as kind of, platonic. It opens up into this realm of tenderness that you both really help each other. You're both walking this very tandem path of healing and self-discovery and transcendence in your own lives, again, to step out of maybe a very dark and broken period in each of your existences, an experience that was very shattering, or some things or obstacles that you have in your shared past that you've needed to overcome or in the process of overcoming. That the two of you provide this companionship for one another. You provide this safe space where you're able to kind of articulate these things, work through these things, exchange ideas with one another. And it's almost this bond of friendship, and at a kind of a soul level, this gratitude you have for one another is the foundation that is laid for what turns into a very spiritually fulfilling marriage between the both of you. This is not just a marriage that is based on, kind of what works in a logical sense, or this deep and mutual attraction, although that is there. This feels very much like a deep soul connection that you share with this person, that you're very much married to one another in spirit, long before kind of the events play out in the 3D reality. This can again be somebody who is a twin soul, somebody that you have been connected with through these kind of ups and downs, through many different tower moments in your life. And as time goes on, you start to recognize one another as kind of this companion, this rock, this sense of stability that has been there for one another through these ebbs and flows. That the more you have kind of encountered difficulties and transcended these things, the closer you have come into proximity with one another. And a sense also of gratitude, which kind of ensues for the difficulties that you have each individually faced, that has really kind of led you both toward each other. With this idea of the wounded warrior, this could be there could be a military connection with this. This could be somebody who is a veteran, maybe a wounded veteran. One or both of you could have PTSD. This could be something you struggle with, or something you have been learning to live with, along with various kind of ideas about or experiences with anxiety, maybe even depression, some some kind of issues with like social anxiety that you might have, that you've been needing to work through, and you either meet each other through that kind of realm, or this can be something also which kind of that shared experience, it gives you both a deeper sort of empathy and understanding of one another and where you're coming from. This could be something where it both takes you time to kind of gradually open up, or to kind of bring these walls down. Or one of you may be kind of more advanced on that path toward healing, and kind of operates as that sort of lighthouse to the other, kind of guiding the other to that place of kind of reaching that same point, that intersection, so the two of you can continue to kind of grow beyond that and develop beyond that, beyond whatever this occurrence was, or this circumstance, or this disposition within either of you. Books could be very significant to this connection as well. This could be somebody who likes to read, maybe somebody who's a writer, maybe you are a writer, a lot of communication back and forth in the written sense as well. And this could, let's see if there's anything else that's really coming out here. This could be somebody with gray hair, maybe, somebody who's going gray, salt and pepper hair, kind of a silver fox. Somebody who may also have kind of auburn or light hair as well. So I'm going to get some additional zodiac signs for you. Oh, and with this, all these flowers in this abundance card, nature could be very important. You two could like to spend time outdoors, spend time in nature, kind of away from the quiet or from the hustle and bustle of urban life. You could both be kind of introverted people, a little bit shy, even a little bit reserved and guarded, just in your nature. But it's something where this connection, the relationship that you share with one another, there's a tenderness, there's a side to one another that, is not often shown to other people, that you're able to access. You both may have kind of kind of stoicism or walls that you have up toward the material world as kind of a defense mechanism, or just the way in which you kind of project or present yourself, but that all of that is really kind of a mask for this very soft and tender truth and core reality of who you are, that through the nature of your interactions, you're able to really bring that out of one another and really show that to one another in a very unique way. So in terms of some additional zodiac signs, this can even relate to the time of year. We've got Aquarius, which is the months of January and February. We've got Gemini, which is May and June. Got Libra, which is September and October. And we have Sagittarius, which is November and December. So now I'm going to get some of these attribute cards, and there's a little bit of everything in here. There's personality traits, physical appearance, there's some initials, zodiac signs. Okay, and we have starseed, so that's another confirmation of what was coming up in this poised card, this kind of otherworldly connection you and this person share. You may both resonate as starseeds or light workers. And we've got tall, lanky. Grounded. So this is a person who is very stable in their sense of self, very stable in their material reality, somebody who might be very good with finances. Maybe they own their own home when you meet them. Somebody who has, really come into their own, who has gone through a lot of ups and downs and turbulence to find themselves, maybe having needed to overcome a lot of things and has come into a place of certainty about who they are and what they want moving forward. Somebody who's very practical as well, somebody who, makes plans and follows through on that, somebody who's very reliable and dependable. And we've got shy, so that was coming up with kind of this idea of the frailty of these flowers here, this kind of meadow, and the idea of the two of you maybe being a little bit introverted, a little bit guarded just in your nature through the experiences you've had in your life in general, that causes this connection to be something which blooms slowly. You open up slowly toward one another. And we have tech industry, so that can tie into this idea of entrepreneurism, a company this person might have developed. They may work in the tech industry as well. The Silicon Valley could be, in California, could be significant to this connection for some of you. And this can also really talk about an online connection, that maybe that's the way this starts, or there's a lot of interaction in that sense. A lot of articles that you send back and forth. Maybe this person makes blogs in terms of that idea of writing, or in some way has some kind of a community, some kind of forum that they have established where the two of you meet to either work on kind of spiritual things of a self-help nature, or just something that it is that they do as a hobby or as a profession, has kind of an online aspect to it. And this can be vice versa. This can be something that you do, and that kind of as this person is seeking out resources for themselves, or even through kind of this element of serendipity, they come across you, and just you catch their attention, and it's something where they take the time to observe. They feel this attraction to you, but it's more at a soul level. And we have veterinarian, so animals might be significant to this connection. This can also be something this person does for a living. They might be a veterinarian, or they're going to school for that. And we have intense eyes. So that can also tie into this idea of this eye contact between the both of you being very intense, the two of you really speaking to each other at the soul level. And we have thinning hair, bald, shaved head. And entrepreneurs, so that was coming through with that emperor energy, and also tech industry. It doesn't need to necessarily be a tech company, but just something also with that grounded card that came out of somebody who's really stable in their profession or working toward that. Somebody who's maybe working toward becoming self-employed, opening their own business, or that they have that to running that. Somebody who might be have a lot of expertise in that, have other people working under them, or people that they are in charge of, or somebody who is well known and established in that profession. And we have smile. So something about this person's smile is really going to warm your heart, a smile that lights up the room. Their smile might be one of the first things they notice about that you notice about them or that they notice about you. They may compliment that, or make mention of that, of your smile, and kind of the healing quality of that. This can also really talk about a connection that really helps to, again, bring you out of any kind of lack mentality and move you into this stance of abundance, somebody who gives you a reason to smile again. And we have scientists, so this could be something that they do for a profession, maybe some kind of biotech industry as well that they are involved in. They may have majored in science in school or are studying something of that nature. Maybe this is somebody who's very science-minded, very logical-minded, also with that idea with starseed, somebody who's into astronomy, into technology in that regard. And we have nurse, so somebody who might be in nursing school or might be a nurse, somebody who works in a healing profession in another manner, or maybe they are a doctor and so nurses work with them. This can also really talk again about the healing nature of this connection that helps to move you out of that poverty mentality, that lack mentality, as far as your experience in love, or even some wounds you have sustained in your life regarding your life or regarding love, that in some way this connection, the experience with this person, or the knowledge that they bring to you, the exchange of energy between the both of you really is very healing, and that feels like a very mutual and reciprocal energy. You both really heal one another through this connection. We've got the letter O. Heart chakra activation. So this person really opens your eyes to a new perspective on love, a new way of experiencing love. You could really activate one another. This idea of ascension as well. You both may have even undergone heart chakra activations, and it's in the process of kind of researching that, exploring ideas about that, about spirituality and ascension, is kind of that idea of the shared community that you both really meet each other through. And we've got the month of April, so this could actually relate to a person's name, or this could be the month of April, or this can relate to the zodiac signs of Aries and Taurus. And we have stubborn, so somebody who could be very set in their ways, somebody who is slow to change, somebody who, has established a way of doing things, a routine, a series of rituals for themselves that have worked for them. And this may be something where, they're very stubborn with what they have also built for themselves, a sense of normalcy or a sense of regularity, or something that they've been working toward that they're very fixated on. They're very firm in that approach. It has worked for them, and so they stick with that. And we have telephone, so this can talk about a lot of phone calls back and forth, a lot of text messages back and forth, kind of a distance between the both of you, a lot of communication that way as well, or even as telephones that are kind of little handheld computers in the modern age. That can talk about that online connection, some kind of shared community you have in that sense. Or that can also talk about tech industry. So maybe a company that they work for, something they've started that has to do with apps or some kind of a technology. And we have fitness, so you could have this in common. You could meet this person at the gym. This is somebody who, takes care of their health and their body, their well-being. Somebody who might be a fitness coach. Maybe they have opened some kind of a fitness business, or, that's some kind of, again, the shared community that you meet each other through is kind of, taking control of your lives, changing your lives. There might have been some kind of drastic physical transformation that this person also endeavored and accomplished at some point in their life as well. And that could be kind of a shared experience for the two of you, or something that through that experience it has really shaped them into who they are. It's something that they're very stubborn about as well, their fitness routine. And that's kind of tying in with this idea of the military as well, someone who might be, very militant in that, somebody who, carves out time for their physical routine, their physical fitness routine every day, kind of rain or shine without fail. And we've got long hair, curly hair, generous, somebody who is very generous with their time with you, somebody who is very understanding about the barriers and boundaries you may have, and is very generous with taking the time to overcome these things, somebody who might be very warm in their nature, somebody who is, giving of their time and attention, giving to others, somebody who might volunteer a lot, somebody who donates, if this is somebody who has established some kind of a company or some kind of a business. This is someone who gives back a lot. They could be, somebody, that business could have to do with outreach in some capacity, somebody who gives of their time, somebody who really has devoted themselves to acts of service, or who understands the necessity of kind of doing for self and doing for others as the makings of a well-rounded life. And we've got direct. Somebody who will be very direct with you in terms of what they are feeling, what they are thinking. Somebody who will, make their intentions known. It might be gradual to unfold, but once those kind of milestones are reached, once the curtain is pulled back, layer by layer in this dynamic, this is someone that you will not question their level of commitment. You will not question their level of involvement. Direct can also talk about kind of their manner of speech. Somebody who is, not given to innuendo, somebody who's not very verbose, but somebody who is very kind of measured and precise in the words that they speak. And we've got patient. So another confirmation of that patience energy here. This connection could be someone you've waited for a very long time. You both could be kind of older when you meet each other. This connection happens later in life. This is also a patient person who is patient with kind of the boundaries you have in place. Somebody who is, wanting to develop this connection slowly, to do things the right way, to really get to know each other, to not rush things, to not move too quickly, but really looks at this as a connection where you have all the time in the world, and really wants to savor the time that they spend with you. And we've got night owls, so somebody who works nights or who has some kind of secondary endeavor that they are very involved in, very stubborn about, some kind of routine or ritual. They're kind of what they do at night before they go to bed, that they are very fixed on. This is non-negotiable for them. A lot of your communication could take place at night as well. And we've got the letter N. Genuine. So this ties in with that energy of someone who's very direct, somebody who is very transparent. What you see is what you get. Somebody who, their life is very much out in the open. The routines that they have, what they fill their days with, what they fill their nights with, this is all very much known to you. This is not somebody who entertains kind of a sneaky energy, somebody who's very no nonsense. Somebody who is very generous and wants to help others for the sole purpose of being of service, not for what they can get back, not for how that can feed their ego, but just out of kind of this understanding of what it is to struggle. And through the ways in which they have been able to overcome something or many somethings, it has infused them with this deep appreciation of the value of imparting that wisdom, imparting what has worked for them to others, to be a way shower for others, to help others out of their own kind of personal darkness or struggle. And we've got quiet, so that ties into this idea of shyness. Somebody who might be kind of guarded or reserved from the outside, but then, once you get to know them and kind of get through those layers, then there's this sweetness, there's this tenderness within them. And we've also got mentor, so that ties into this idea of generosity, and somebody who, really is interested in giving back, somebody who might, be involved a lot in kind of volunteer work, who gives of their time, somebody who has a lot of wisdom, a lot of life experience to share with others and to share with you. There's a sense of the two of you really being the teacher and the student with one another, that you're both helping one another in some level to kind of ascend or transcend some even kind of deeply ingrained some subconscious wounds and senses of disappointment and guardedness. You're kind of walking hand in hand on your journey when you meet one another. You're really teaching one another about what love can be outside of the parameters of what you both have experienced that as previously. And we've got intern. So this can talk about somebody who has a company where there are interns at this company. This might be somebody who's even again, kind of this idea of, with that mentor, sort of this, you're both the teacher and the student in this connection. You have a lot to learn from each other and a lot to teach one another. Somebody who's very open as well to learning about you, about what's worked for you, about who you are as a person. Somebody who's not just going to make it all about themselves, but is really interested in this equal give and take. And we've got green eyes. The letter T. soul recognition, so this immediate sense of knowing, a past life connection with the two of you. Again, this idea of maybe feeling very kind of out of place with others, and yet there's this sense of kind of kinship between the both of you, almost this soul family feeling. And we've got eccentric, so something about their lifestyle or their history, maybe your shared history is very eccentric. It's a very different kind of experience than others have had. This is an uncommon path that is walked. They could be very eccentric in some of their ideas, what they do for a living, the way they dress, the way they carry themselves. And we've got corporate, so that ties in with entrepreneur and tech industry. They could work in the corporate world, and in a corporation you could meet them through work. And we've got romantic, so that ties into that very tender and soft center that this person has beyond any kind of walls or barriers or stoicism. This is a very romantic person. Again, kind of sweet little gifts, little love notes, giving flowers, just very tender things that show you that they care. And we have X. So for some of you, this could be an X who is coming back around into your life in kind of a changed energy. Somebody who that could account for this anxiety and this guardedness, this hesitation about should you let them back in again. And if that's the case and that resonates, and this is somebody that you could entertain in your future, then this is a sense of something evolving beyond that, almost somebody really understanding that the grass wasn't greener on the other side. In terms of X, there could also be some similarity to an X that you have. Maybe they have the same name as your X, they work in the same kind of industry, something about them that reminds you of someone you dealt with previously, that kind of sends you into a triggered stance where you're kind of guarded. You're not really sure, is this person going to be different than your last experiences? This also ties into this idea of kind of breaking free of patterns that you've experienced with ex-lovers, with ex-partners. This person representing a paradigm shift from anybody you've dealt with in love and life previously. We've got well-groomed, so somebody who may have to dress in kind of business attire for work, suits or just very not casual wear when they are going around through their professional world, through their day. This can also talk about somebody who's very meticulous in their personal appearance, somebody who even in casual attire looks very well put together, someone who's very fastidious. And we've got tattoos. So there could be a tattoo that is significant. They could have tattoos. Maybe you two get tattoos together. You tattoo on your wedding rings, or some kind of a tattoo that really signifies the bond that you share. This also feels like this idea of your soul is tattooed on their soul. There's this instant soul recognition that they have for you, of having known you in different lifetimes, in different galaxies, in different dimensions. They could never forget you if they tried, and this is really transferred through all different incarnations. And we've got restaurant. So that entrepreneurial energy could tie into a restaurant owner, somebody who is working towards that. Maybe somebody who's going to culinary school, somebody who's really good in the kitchen as well, loves to cook. That's a form of art for them. You could spend a lot of, time eating out. That can be part of that kind of that love languages, taking you out for date night, out to restaurants, or even kind of, preparing meals for you at home and kind of setting the scene, lighting the candles, turning on the music and really preparing your favorite dishes, your favorite meals, or something very special that the two of you can really share as kind of that date night at home. And we've got the letter G. River. So that could be a name for somebody. Rivers could be significant to this connection. This can talk about the river of time as well. So somebody you've known from past life connections, or even somebody from your past that you are meeting further down the road once again. They could be, interested in fishing or camping. This could be something that you two do together. Or again, you could live near a river, or kind of have these goals and these dreams of sort of moving into that sort of urban setting, spending that time in nature. And we've got free-spirited, so somebody who is very open in terms of an open-mindedness, in terms of their views on life. They may have some kind of eccentric or kind of out-of-the-box ideas about spirituality, about themselves, about the nature of the soul. Somebody who's very easygoing, somebody who makes you feel very comfortable in their presence. We've got angular face. Marriage. So confirmation there that you will marry this person, although that's kind of a given because this is a future spouse reading. But this can tie into perhaps for some of you, this is someone you were married to or engaged to before and you divorced, and you will remarry this person. If that resonates, it feels like maybe that's one or two people. So only take that if it resonates. But this could be somebody who had been married before. That could attribute to the mature man. Maybe they went through kind of a painful or a costly divorce, a series of costly divorces or painful divorces that led to them also being kind of guarded and hesitant, a little anxious to kind of enter into love again, vowing that they would never marry again. And then you encounter one another and all of that changes. You could also meet them at a wedding, or through a married couple might be how you meet this person. This also really ties into this idea of the marriage of your souls at the higher self level, that even prior to meeting one another, you have been in union with one another. You've been really making your way through kind of the peaks and valleys of your life and of your experiences to that point of intersection in a 3D sense. And we've got firefighters, so that could be something they do as a profession. Singing. So this person could be a singer. They could write songs for you. Music could be very significant to this connection, and there's a sense that you really make their heart sing. And we've got organized, so a meticulous person, somebody who likes to plan things out, somebody who has routines and rituals that are established in their day, a way of doing things, somebody who has really organized their life, picked up the pieces of their life and a lot of the wreckage of their life in a lot of ways, and has really constructed something very satisfying for themselves. And we've got piercings, so they could have piercings. You could get a piercing together. That could be significant. Maybe you meet them while getting a piercing. And that kind of also ties in the idea of intense eyes, these piercing eyes that this person has, this piercing interaction, this piercing gaze that, really you address each other, you speak to each other deep at your core, deep at the soul, beyond the physical appearance. And we've got coach. So they could volunteer as a coach. Maybe this is something they do as a living. They might enjoy sports or, fitness in that regard. This can be somebody also with that idea of mentor, that the business that they have or something that they even do in kind of a volunteer sense is coaching people, mentoring people, helping people work through struggles in their life. This is somebody who will be very encouraging for you to continue to pursue your dreams. This idea of coach also really talks about the idea of the divine and both of your spirit guides, your spirit teams, your ancestors really rooting for this connection, really helping to orchestrate events and try to get you two together, get you two in proximity with one another. A lot that will feel very divinely orchestrated, a lot of serendipity and these beautiful coincidences, and really the timing and manner in which you two reach each other, although it might be kind of later in life or almost when your patience has run up, or this will be the connection that is worth waiting for. So I'm going to get some letter tiles, some initials for you, group 3. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got B, X, Y, I, W, L, M, D, C, O, K, H, P, and R. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some kind of peace or confirmation from what came through in the reading, and it also helps my channel to grow, so I appreciate that. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.